A warm good evening, everyone. It's a great Sunday today. It's the fourth day of the International E-Conclave. Very interesting day because on the last 4 days we have been, since the last 3 days we have been speaking about a lot of things about pharmacotherapy related to tobacco cessation. So, because now we are moving towards the panel discussion. The chairpersons for the evening, Professor M.C. Misra. He is ex-director from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, and formerly the professor of surgery and chief at JPN Apex Trauma Center. Sir was associated with AIIMS for more than 37 years, and he has been his greatest contribution has been towards the creation and development of the AIIMS Trauma Center. He has honorary fellowship of Royal College of Surgeons, Edinburgh and Glasgow, and also awarded with Dr. B.C. Roy National Award of Medical Council of India by the President of India himself in 1996. With this, I invite Sir on the forum.
डॉक्टर निमेश जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. वैसे मैं तो इसमें लर्नर रहा हूँ थ्रू आउट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट डे ऑनवर्ड्स, because I am not the expert in tobacco cessation. Pawan has roped me in, and I thank him for making me little bit more giving me more information. How much is this problem? How much people are working to overcome this problem? It's difficult. It's not an easy task. I know that. Like, I have been working towards injury prevention, and I know how much it takes. Even if you tell people that it is for your own benefit, they still do not basically enforcement or the counseling, whatever you do. Like, I always give example when we compare COVID appropriate behavior and helmet enforcement, which I call helmet vaccine for the prevention of head trauma. We lose almost 100 young lives every day on our roads because non-helmet wearing people, young lives are lost every day, and a lot of other trauma is preventable, which we are not able to do. The same thing applies to tobacco use and tobacco quitting tobacco, and I have learned a lot from all the whatever summary has been presented. So I think you get going with the panelists. They are very distinguished panel you have, from all across those who are working in this area, and we are eager to listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Misra ji. We'll come back to you for the concluding remarks too. Any final words of wisdom before we end the panel?
Yes, I think I've enjoyed the whole discussion by the distinguished panelists, and I can see the passion with which all of them are working towards this gigantic problem, what we call it. And what I feel, there is a large section of children, because this addiction, when the children start smoking from age 10, 12, 14, 13, 14, 15, that is the most important reason for addiction. Once they cross 20, 22, 25, then that problem doesn't come about. So I think in medical colleges also, what I have seen with my own friends, when they started, because we all got admitted at 17 or 18. So I think if we can avoid that age, that is something. And then low socioeconomic group, we have to target, because most of the non-smoking tobacco, as well as chewing tobacco, as well as gutka, etc., are more prevalent in low socioeconomic children, and they are almost outside the radar of all of us. And that is something, how it can be done. Then Dr. Jagdish can work out, or Dr. Harshad can work out how we can, and rural areas also. See, I have known Manpuri tobacco when it used to be called, Dr. Desai, you must be remembering, the Manpuri tobacco was the infamous tobacco. And you know, Dr. Ravi Batra, our anesthesiologist colleague, would smoke in our faculty room, and I was the only one fight with him that you cannot smoke in this room because I get the secondary smoke and I will be harmed. So we had a lot of fight. I said, you go and smoke anywhere, but not in the changing room. And this is something which all of us have to deal with. in doctor resident, somebody commented on the chat box that surgical residents, but my experience over last many decades, not very many surgical residents develop this habit, because they have come of that age when they will land up with the addiction of, they might be smoking occasionally, as a lot of us do sometimes, like alcohol also, but not addiction per se. And I don't remember even one resident who was addicted to tobacco, my surgical residents in my experience. So it's not that much common, people understand, but alcohol of course is a different ball game together. But what I was very much encouraged to listen to Dr. Nandita, then when she said pharmacotherapy brings down 36% mortality because of the cessation. I think that is something very significant. And what importantly, what she mentioned, that it is the multimodality and multidisciplinary team effort, like in any other, whether we talk of trauma prevention or we talk of COVID appropriate behavior, it is the teamwork which is so important. And what Dr. Pratima Murthy mentioned, I think we must try and do that, because many a time the parents themselves, they listen to their children, whether it comes to an helmet enforcement or it is tobacco cessation. I think, and grandchildren can make definitely huge impact, because you know how much we are attached to our grandchildren. So I think that is something, she narrated one case where somebody returned from USA and wanted to quit, and by using these tobacco cessation mechanisms. So and then ABCD, I didn't know there is ABCD approach also exists in tobacco cessation. I always thought it is the trauma which has ABCD approach, the airway, breathing, circulation and disability. But I think it's a wonderful concept, the ABCD approach. And naturally it is the combination of counseling, nicotine replacement therapies, and so I think that, and counseling, of course, we also need to know how many people approach actually, maybe from your center, Dr. Desai, that how many people volunteer to come and say, I want to quit. I think that number in India, I don't know, because people are shy of going and getting help, like for psychiatric help and depression also. A lot of people, they just don't approach voluntarily, and they avoid going to the hospital for even psychiatric consultation when they need help. So I think that kind of a environment we have to create, that it is not something, and I think it was very rightly said, instead of ridiculing them, or we must support them and give them good counseling. And that is something which is, and rural areas, I think somebody mentioned, is a area which needs for tobacco, the hookah or the smokeless tobacco use is very common there. And then naturally it was genomic aspects. I was not aware that there is a genomic aspect to tobacco cessation and tobacco use. Again, we need to do some work in this area also, that how, I don't know whether it has been done, what was presented, that how many people we did the genomic sequencing, how cost effective it is as a research proposal and all that. I think that needs to be, Dr. Swasti and Dr. Jagdish can support these kind of initiatives, because these may not be easily available, the genomic sequencing. And I think this is what I would say, that it is a, I think with the kind of passion Pawan has created this every week program for 4 weeks, and a lot of experts I could listen, and today also I see people are passionate, all of you are passionate that something more needs to be done, and more, because very little we are able to do. So that is something which is very encouraging for me, and I got a lot of knowledge, information from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Misra sir.